Welcome everyone to GFB TV, where we highlight real women with real results with their money in girlfriend's budget. So today I have a very special guest, Shelby. How are you, love?
I'm good. How are you?
Doing so good. Thank you so much for being here. I really appreciate that.
Absolutely.
Yes, okay. So, let's just go ahead and dive into our regular chit chats like normal. So, just tell us a little bit about you, who you are, what you do, those kinds of things.
Yeah. So my name's Shelby. I'm 29. I am recently, newly the director of operations at a software company. Thank you. Thank you. So that's what I do for work. I have a big family. I moved to Texas from Atlanta in 2021. I like to do karaoke, paddleboard. I do jujitsu, lots of things. So
Love that. I love that. Yes, all into hobbies. So, I got a couple notes here just so I can keep us on track. So, um, before GFB, so I was doing the math. We've been working together for about 8 months. Does it seem like 8 months to you?
no, definitely not.
I was like 8 months. Oh my gosh, like it went by so quickly. But man, the wins we've made together have been amazing. But let's go back 8 months ago. 8 months ago, Shelby. How did you first learn about girlfriend's budget, and also what were some of the habits you kind of had before working with girlfriend's budget?
Yeah. So if you remember, we actually connected just over a year ago. Because we connected, we had our like introductory meeting before I decided to sign up, and then the next week I got fired. Right. So then I put a hold on it. I was like, hey, I was into it all, but I have no income right now, total break. And like I said, I kind of respectfully, I kind of avoided you because I didn't want to look at like what things looked like at that point, right? Like I was making good money, but I was living outside of my means. And then when that money went away, it was like full panic. I didn't want to put a mirror up and like see what those finances really looked like. So I kind of avoided you for a little bit. But then when I got the next job, if you remember, I was like, okay, I gotta do something, right? Because I got the job, it's great, but there's still damage previously that had to be rectified. So that's kind of the like 8 month mark, I guess, when we actually started working together. I'd say my biggest habit before, and I've heard this a lot and I've said it my whole life, is just like, where's your money go? Where does your money go? Because, like I said, I was making good money, but I still had credit card debt. Had very little bills too. I lived at my job. I drove work vehicles, and I'm like, where's all this money going, right? And it just slips
Yeah.
away. So I'd say my biggest habit before was just that, not being mindful of like where money was coming and going, and just
Mhm.
having really no idea. And I know that sounds really kind of simple, but I just didn't know where my money was going. It was
Yeah, but
coming in, it was going, and I didn't know where it was going.
that's a lot of ladies that like they make it, but they don't know where it's going. How do you feel like did you feel like you were or were not prioritizing savings, or how did you kind of do
So
that?
I went through phases. Unfortunately, I got fired in one of the bad ones. But I would go through, and I know we've talked about this, but I would go through phases where I felt like I was really on it. Like money was coming in, I knew where it was going. A ton was going into savings. My credit cards were down, and then I don't know if I just got comfortable or passive. But then a couple months would go by, and I would turn around and have like a panic, like a come to Jesus of like, oh my gosh, I have $12,000 on my credit card. Where did all my savings go? Like I had these long stints of habit, if that I don't know if that really makes sense, but
Yeah.
like 6 months
Mhm.
good, 6 months off. I'd be super clocked in, and then I'd be super disassociated. And unfortunately, I got terminated in one of I wasn't on top of it when it happened.
Yeah.
So kind of both. I mean, it would come and go. There was no consistency
Yeah.
in any sense.
Yes,
So,
yes, totally get it. So, let's just talk about results, the glow up right now. I was doing the math. I was like, okay, 8 months we've been working together. We've made some real powerful moves. We started savings was we were kind of rebuilding savings. So in the 8 months we've been working together, we have 250x'd, 250 times your
awesome.
savings, which I'm like, oh my gosh. Then for your credit score, we started like mid 600s. Now we're high 700s. So like 100 point credit score increase, which I'm like,
That's
uh,
awesome.
in 8 months. Like, that's crazy. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I think sometimes when we're in the weeds of things, we don't necessarily realize all the amazing things that we're doing in such a short time. But I mean, and then beyond that, like some personal things, like you were able to get your own spot, you're more independent.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, just like,
Yeah.
wow, a complete transformation. So, what do you think helped you stay consistent and motivated with this?
So accountability, obviously, very simply, just knowing like, and in the beginning, it was kind of stressful. Like, oh my gosh, I have my call with Elle Friday. Like, I have to tell her this. I have to tell her that. Like, truthfully, it was kind of that fear of accountability.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Um, for a while, right when I had those little mess ups or when I swiped the card when I shouldn't have, like, there was a little bit of that like anxiety about meeting. But then it turned into this piece about meeting because I was like, okay, I had to put that on my credit card. I busted a tire, blah, blah, blah. But then it had this like confidence, like, I'm going to tell Elle about it. We're going to have a plan and it's going to get taken care of. You know what I mean? Like it became like a problem solving kind of mindset. And there wasn't that anxiety of like, oh, I have to tell her, there was this piece of like, we're going to figure it out. We're going to have a plan. I want to add to it though, with the like personal wins. I got promoted in those 8 months, right? And you
Yeah,
you definitely helped me with how that conversation needed to go, right? When I went in and asked for a raise, like what that needed to look like, stacking up my wins to bring them to the table when I had that conversation. I feel like a lot of women financial spaces, we don't talk about that kind of stuff, right? Uh,
yes.
so that win was definitely, GFB was definitely a part of that.
Love that.
Yes. And then every time that happened, it was like, okay, I got this much more on my paycheck. Where are we moving with it? You know what I mean? It was very action item. Like you said, I got my own place. Like I mentioned, I was living at my job, driving their cars, and that was the job, right?
Hmm.
But when I lost that job, it was homeless, jobless, carless, right? And GFB was just kind of a part of all those conversations in a way.
Yeah.
Like some of our sessions were therapy. There were some tears,
Yes, it happens. It happens for sure. I say that all the time. Your money affects everything. It's all parts of like your life, really. It does affect a lot. So sometimes the sessions are needed to be therapy sessions.
Yeah.
So I love that. What are you most excited for now when it comes to your financial future? Like, what are you looking forward to next?
Um, so much of my money is going towards my debt right now. And that's the plan. And we're making that sacrifice and I'm in it and that's fine. But I'm really looking forward to just having that money.
Yeah.
Like I look at my paycheck and I'm like, man, I could be covered in tattoos, traveling all the time, So I'm just looking forward to like cleaning that slate and like actually having that money to live my life with. And like I'm still doing things, don't get me wrong. I do my travel, we plan in advance. I just text you like, hey, I'm running out of makeup. I need a sum of money in the next few months because like I got nothing to go to work, right?
Yeah.
So we're still planning. I'm still living. I don't want to sound like I'm not living that life, but I'm definitely looking every month at that money that's going towards that debt and just thinking, man, if I had it in my pocket. So I'm definitely looking forward to having that money back.
I know. I'm looking forward to that for you too, because that's going to be nice. And you're definitely going to feel that. It's going to allow us to save a lot faster and reach some other goals,
Mhm.
just now in the beginning. But still, the wins that we have, I feel like outweighs, like
Definitely.
what I mean? But
Definitely.
we're going to get there. We're going to get over the hump. And then we're going to be having that conversation of you paying your
Yeah.
last debt payment. And that's going to be a celebration for real.
The goal I came up with the other day is, and I think we can reach it. I was going to talk to you in our next meeting, but I turned 30 in September, right? And
Mhm.
so my little mental is debt free by 33, and
Okay.
I think we can do it.
I think we can too. I love that debt free by 33. Yes.
Girl,
Yes. I
continue to
love
think
that
about
goal.
like relationships and stuff. Like, I don't want to go into like a long term relationship or a marriage with baggage. That's not been my focus for a while. My focus has been my career, getting my own place, etc. But like that's something that I want, and we've talked about that. And when the time comes, I don't want to be like, oh yeah, by the way, also, I know you're choosing me, but you're also choosing all this debt. You know what I mean? Like I want to be able to walk into that as a resource and as a partnership and not a drain financially on our relationship. And so I think
Yeah.
that like little debt free by 33 is kind of in line with that goal.
I love that. Not only are you doing this for yourself right now, but in your future self, but for your future partner.
Yeah.
And I know that that future partner is going to appreciate that. Like, don't come up in here with all that debt. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yes, yes. Okay, so if there is a woman out there watching this and she's on the fence about working with GFB, hiring a money coach, even in the group, we didn't even talk about the group sessions.
Yeah.
Um, what would you tell her? What would you tell the 8 month ago Shelby, that's watching this?
It feels really counterintuitive to spend money on something that's supposed to help you save money, right? Like in the very beginning, I was like, that's a number that I don't want to, that felt like throwing away, right? Like it feels very counterintuitive. And I know it's really cliche to say like you got to spend money to make money, but I don't even think about what I pay GFB. Honestly, it's itemized in my spreadsheet. It comes out. And when I do think about it, it doesn't feel heavy. It doesn't feel like a burden because it sounds so cliche to be like the payback is tenfold, right? But like that bill that I pay towards that is itemized. It's covered every month. It's not a financial strain. It's very reasonable. And I have more money in my savings than I've ever had. So why is it a problem? So somebody who's on the fence, I would say just like don't view it as an extra expense. Truly, again, very cliche, but view it as an investment because it really, really is. Because let's say if you put that money in an investment account every month, you're not getting that percentage of return. Like what I have in my savings account would be a very high percentage of what's that called?
Interest or
Interest. It would
mhm,
be very high interest,
mhm.
like unreasonable, never found at a bank interest, right? So really, it's an investment with like a really high yield interest. It's kind of how I view it, and I don't even really think about it.
Yeah.
No,
I love it. And it's crazy. I tell people all the time, like once you get in it and just see it and like actually do it, because the thing is,
yeah,
you gotta do it. Not just be like, okay, I'm gonna join, but it's like
yeah,
following the plan and showing up to the group sessions and the sister circle and all of that. Like it's really immersing yourself in the new lifestyle that you're creating.
yeah. Well,
So,
it's just like fitness. I mean, and that's how I actually came across GFB. Shameless plug. Sandy, a girlfriend of ours,
mhm.
she's an incredible fitness coach, and I was working with her on my physical fitness. And like you said, it all physical fitness, mental fitness, money, financial fitness, it all comes together. And so we were talking about it, and she was like, "Girl, I cannot believe you make this much money and you're doing X, Y, Z." And she's like, "Get it together. Call my girlfriend Elle." And so I did, and it really is the same. Like you can join the gym, but you got to show up to the gym. You know, you're not going to see results if you don't get on the treadmill. So you definitely have to. Yeah, you have to partake. You can't just sign up. You really got to be in it. But it was pretty easy. Like in the beginning, it was pretty easy to be in it. You know what I mean? It didn't feel like a strain. And like I look forward to talk to me Tuesdays, like every other Tuesday. I'm checking my calendar, like, is it this Tuesday or is it next? Because it is nice to get on and connect to people and understand that like we're all dealing with opposite sides of the same coin.
I was like, we'll save that for the inside. Okay, well, thank you again, Shelby, for sharing your story and doing this with me. I really appreciate that. I love your energy and I love all the wins that we have created together and that we're going to continue to create and hitting those goals. And if you're watching this, and you're ready to see some changes in your own financial situation, then I would highly encourage you to check out girlfriendsbudget.com and join the academy.
Yeah,
And
you have to go to yourself. Do it for yourself.
clearly the results are real, the support is real, and the glow up is here waiting for you. So thank you, Shelby. Until next time, everyone, love your budget and love your life. See you later.